Hello everyone. You might think a warm golden bagel in the morning is a harmless comfort. But for folks over 60, that habit could quietly be working against your heart, your blood sugar, and your waistline. Today, let's break down what really happens when older adults eat bagels regularly, and why the risks aren't just about carbs, but about where your bagel comes from, how it's made, and what's hiding inside it. 1. Moldy bagels, when old bread turns into a hidden threat. Hey, let me ask you something. Have you ever seen a bagel left out overnight? Perhaps on the counter or in a paper bag in the microwave and thought, that looks fine? Maybe you even smelled it, didn't notice anything strange, and figured it would be an easy breakfast. But for people over 60, that leftover bagel may be more risky than you think. Bagel left out in a warm or humid kitchen overnight can trap moisture inside, allowing invisible mold to grow deep inside the bagel, even if the surface looks clean. And once you toast or reheat it, the heat may not be strong enough to kill the bad stuff inside. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in Atlanta, foodborne illnesses from moldy or spoiled bread products are more serious in older adults due to changes in immunity and digestion. What starts as a little stomach upset can quickly turn into fatigue, vomiting, or even dangerous dehydration, especially for anyone dealing with heart problems, diabetes, or poor kidney function. Your body also processes bacteria more slowly as you age. That gives harmful bacteria more time to spread inside you before you realize something is wrong. For senior health, that can mean more than just a stomachache. It can mean a trip to the hospital. So here's a smarter move. If a bagel has been sitting out for more than a few hours, or comes from a questionable source, throw it out. Not everything that looks okay is safe to eat. Leave a comment below if you've ever eaten a leftover bagel and hope for the best. Let's learn from it. 2. Overnight bagels, the danger you can't smell. Okay, let's be honest. Have you ever put a bagel in a plastic bag, left it on the counter overnight, and thought it would be fine in the morning? You probably thought, I'll just toast it and kill off all the bad stuff. But this is where that habit can quietly backfire, especially after age 60. Bagels left out overnight, especially if they're not properly refrigerated or sealed, create the perfect conditions for bacteria to grow. The problem isn't visible mold. The danger is the moisture trapped inside the bagel, allowing harmful bacteria to multiply without a trace or smell. And as you get older, your stomach acid gets weaker and your gut bacteria becomes slower to respond, meaning your body can't fight off the types of bacteria that cause foodborne illness as well as it once did. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Food Safety and Inspection Service, leaving bread products at room temperature for too long increases the risk of bacteria growing that aren't always visible or detectable. That's especially true in warmer climates or during the summer months when kitchen temperatures are high. For seniors, the health consequences of eating one of these innocent bagels can include bloating, nausea, dizziness, or even infections that put serious stress on your body. If you have a weakened immune system, heart disease, or any chronic illness, recovery may take longer than it would for a younger person. So next time, store your bagels in an airtight container in the refrigerator, or better yet, freeze the leftovers immediately. That small action could save you from a major health problem. If you thought a bagel left out overnight was risky, just wait until you see what happens when they're left uncovered in the open air. One's a quiet threat at home, the other right in public. 3. Open-air bagels when freshly baked isn't always safe. Have you ever walked into a bakery and seen a tray of warm bagels sitting right next to the counter? No cover, no protective glass, just stacked high on a wooden board with steam still rising from it. Smells great, looks fresh. You might even think, well, it just came out of the oven, it must be clean. But here's what most people don't think about. As soon as a bagel comes out of the oven, it starts to cool. And in that time, it's completely exposed to airborne particles, dust, cough droplets, bacteria from people talking on the tray, or even someone touching it with their bare hand. And once that happens, the freshness you believed in becomes a potential risk, especially for people over 60. According to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, improperly covered food displays significantly increase the risk of cross-contamination, especially in high-traffic areas. When those germs get on warm, moist bread, they multiply faster, and your eyes can't see it happening. Now think about how that affects the health of an older person. A younger person might not even notice. But what about you? A contaminated bagel can lead to 2 days of bloating, fatigue, or worse, an infection that messes with your blood pressure, hydration, and balance. It's not just an upset stomach, but a whole body stressor that your system can recover from. So, next time you buy a bagel, take a closer look. If it's on display uncovered, no matter how warm it looks, ask yourself, is it worth the risk? Comment 3 if you've ever picked a bagel straight from the tray without thinking twice. It's a small habit, but it's easy to change. Full. Reheated bagels. Why warming it up again can warm up trouble. Have you ever kept half a bagel in the fridge, thinking you'd reheat it later? Maybe you microwave it the next morning, eat a few bites, and then there it is again. By the time you're done, that bagel has been reheated 2, maybe 3 times. And here's the less obvious one. Every time you reheat a bagel, especially one that's not frozen or completely sealed, you're creating the perfect environment for bacteria to survive and multiply. Microwaves don't always heat evenly, especially in the denser parts of the bagel. That means some areas may be just warm enough for germs to survive, but not hot enough to kill them. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, reheating leftovers multiple times increases your risk of foodborne illness, especially when the food isn't heated to an internal temperature of at least 165 degrees F throughout. For baked goods like bagels, which aren't typically eaten piping hot from the inside out, this becomes a potential hazard. And for senior health, that risk is more important than ever. As your digestion slows and your immune system weakens, a little moisture and bacteria left inside that chewy bagel can lead to nausea, stomach cramps, or chronic problems like irritable bowel syndrome or blood sugar fluctuations. So what's a safer practice? Heat it up only once and eat it right away. If you know you won't finish a bagel, slice and freeze the rest before it gets too old. That way, it's safe, delicious, and ready to go without the guesswork. Warming the same bagel twice might feel harmless, but the toppings in store-bought bagel sandwiches can take that danger even further. Especially when you don't control how long they've been sitting there. 5. Pre-made bagel sandwiches, why the toppings could be trouble. Have you ever grabbed one of those ready-to-eat bagels from the grocery store shelf or the gas station refrigerator? You know, the kind with cream cheese, ham, turkey, maybe a little sauce, all packaged and ready to go. It feels so convenient, especially when you don't feel like cooking. But here's the thing. The bagel itself may be fine. It's the toppings that can secretly put you at risk, especially if they're not kept at the right temperature. Soft cheeses and deli meats spoil quickly when left in warm or unevenly cooled environments. And even if they feel cold to the touch, that doesn't always mean they've been kept safely below 40 degrees F the entire time. According to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, pre-made sandwiches containing high-risk ingredients, like sliced meat, eggs, or soft cheeses, can carry harmful bacteria like Listeria or Salmonella if not stored and transported under strict refrigeration conditions. These bacteria are especially dangerous for adults over 60 due to weakened immune responses and slower digestion. What may only cause a mild stomachache for a young person can lead you with chills, fatigue, or a persistent intestinal infection that disrupts blood pressure, hydration, or blood sugar levels. For seniors, this is not just food poisoning, but a serious health problem that you may not recover from quickly. So next time, take a closer look. Is the sandwich in a well-refrigerated area? Does the label say, "Keep refrigerated"? If you're not sure how long it's been there, it's safer to skip it or make it yourself at home. Comment 5 if you've ever picked up one of these and thought, "Looks tight, must be secure." Now you know what to double check. 6. Bulk bagel buying. When saving money quietly risks your health. Have you ever bought a big bag of bagels on sale, perhaps from a warehouse store or a bakery clearance sale, thinking it would save you from having to go shopping multiple times a week? You bring them home, toss the bag on your kitchen counter, and figure you'll use them every day. Sounds smart, right? But this is something that's often overlooked. When bagels sit out in a warm kitchen for days, especially in humid conditions, they begin to absorb moisture from the air. That trapped moisture can lead to a slow fermentation process inside the bread, creating the perfect conditions for bacteria to grow, and you may not notice it until your stomach gives you a break. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, bread products that are stored at room temperature for more than 2 days, especially in loosely sealed packaging, can become a breeding ground for bacteria and mold. Plus, once one bagel in a batch starts to go bad, it can quickly affect the rest without any obvious signs. For seniors, eating from that bag of okay-looking bagels can silently lead to days of bloating, fatigue, or indigestion that last longer than expected. And if you already have other health issues like heart disease or a weakened immune system, the effects can be even harder to reverse. So here's a better course of action. When you buy in bulk, separate the bagels immediately. Only save what you'll use in the next 24 hours. And freeze the rest in an airtight container. That way, nothing goes to waste and nothing silently harms you. Comment 6 if you've ever bought a big bag thinking it would last you a week. It still can, just plan ahead. So let's take a moment to wrap things up. Bagels can be a good morning treat, but only if they're treated with a little more care than we're used to. Sometimes the danger starts at home, like when we leave one out overnight or reheat the same one over and over again. Other times, it's where you buy them, like a bare bagel from the bakery, or a sandwich with a clean-looking coating that hasn't been properly chilled. And then there are the little habits we think are harmless, like buying a big bag on sale to save money, only to let it sit around too long without freezing. Or trusting the sealed package from the corner store without checking how it's been refrigerated. It all adds up, and the truth is, as we age, our bodies don't process these things the same way. What looks fresh may not be safe. What smells normal can still be risky. But the good news? A few small changes, like better storage, early freezing, or choosing where to buy your bagels more carefully, can make a big difference. It's not about giving up what you love. It's about keeping your habits and your body a little safer each time. You know, sometimes it's not just what you eat, but how you eat it that makes a big difference. A lot of older people tend to take big bites of their bagel, perhaps in a rush to eat breakfast while taking their morning medication. But that little habit can be quietly irritating your system in ways you might not expect. See, as we age, our natural digestion slows down. Your stomach doesn't digest food as quickly as it used to, and if you chew too quickly or swallow too big of a bite, your intestines have to work harder. That can lead to gas, bloating, or an uncomfortable, heavy feeling that lasts for hours. Add to that the fact that bagels are dense and chewy, and you've got a digestive traffic jam waiting to happen. And here's something that many people forget. If you're taking medication, especially blood pressure, diabetes, or cholesterol medications, eating right before or right after swallowing your pills can actually interfere with how your body absorbs them. That thick, starchy layer of bread can slow things down, including the medication you're counting on to work properly. So here's a gentle word of advice. Take it easy. Cut your bagel into smaller pieces, chew it slowly, and wait about 30 to 60 minutes before or after eating if you're taking medication. A little patience at the dinner table can pay big dividends for your digestion, your energy, and your overall routine. And really, that one little habit, eating a little slower, spacing out your medication, can do more to protect you than any fancy diet. When it comes to healthy aging, it's not always about the big changes. It's the little things you do every day that add up. So don't let your age define how healthy you are. How you eat, store, and choose your food still matters. You have the power to make smarter decisions without giving up the foods you love. If you saw anything in this video that made you stop even for a second, share your thoughts. What's your own bagel eating habit? Have you ever had to rethink how you store or reheat them? Comment below with the number of tips that surprise you the most. And if this has been helpful to you or someone you care about, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on more senior health tips right here at HEALZO. Because staying healthy after 60 starts with the choices you make at the dinner table.